Cooking with the brown kids.
All right, everybody, we promised that we would teach a science lesson making mac and cheese. I don't see anybody on live with us yet, but we've been studying. What have we been studying this week?
Stuff.
What have you been studying?
I've been studying matter.
Matter, okay. And what are some of the things that you've learned about matter?
Stuff. Homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures.
All right, awesome. And what did we make today? What did we boil?
Noodles.
Noodles. So what is in our pot? Noodles and water. So is that a homogeneous or a heterogeneous mixture?
Heterogeneous.
Heterogeneous. And why is it heterogeneous?
Because you can tell what's what. You can tell like what are the noodles and what's the water.
Exactly.
You can tell if there's a noodle to eat.
So we can easily pick out our noodles, right? And drain off the water. So I'm going to take our multi-purpose steamer here. It's got the colander built right into the lid, which is super handy. We made a double batch, so that's why I'm going to drain the water rather than the kids, because it's a little bit heavy. And we're just going to drain that water off, just like so. Ruby, what did we learn about boiling water this week? What happens?
The heat rises and the water particles go faster.
Yeah, that's right. Just like, you know what, if you burn your hand is kind of in its normal state, right? You burn it, you go, ow! Your hand moves faster. That's kind of what the particles are doing in the pot as well. They're kind of moving faster. So they're in their normal state when they're at room temperature, and then the molecules in the water, as you heat them up, they start moving faster, and then they reach a boiling point, which is 100 degrees Celsius. And what happens when it starts to boil? What's coming up?
Gas, the steam.
The steam, right. So that's how water turns into a gas and evaporates. So we are, just 1 minute, Grayson. We are doubling the recipe. So our recipe calls for an optional 2 tablespoons of butter. But if we're doubling the recipe, how many tablespoons do we need? 4. So this is a great way to teach math when you're doubling or even tripling recipes. You can teach kids to do math. So Ruby, what I'm going to get you to do, I'm going to get you to fill this tablespoon with the knife 4 times, and then you're just going to plop it in with the noodles and give them a stir.
The butter?
The butter. Okay. What did I say?
Nothing.
I say crazy things. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it's all good. All right, Grayson, you signed up to make our cheese mixture. All right. That's the cheese mixture.
Yes,
so we're doubling the recipe. We're using 2 packets today because we are going to have mac and cheese for lunch, but we want extra as leftovers to make another recipe. And if you tune in later, Denise is going to be posting some recipes on how you can cook once and eat twice using the mac and cheese. All right, so Grayson has cut the corners off, and he's made little spouts, which I think is really smart. It's a great way not to make a big mess with our mac and cheese. Here, bud. Why don't I pour one and you pour one? Sound good?
I want to put both.
Okay.
I want to pour both.
Just pack your patience when you cook with kids. Chances are something might get spilled. Pack your patience when you cook with Linda, who makes the biggest messes in the kitchen. Olaf. Our dog's name is Olaf. His ears just perked up. Who's talking about me? What you cooking over there? But it's okay. Just let it happen. It's fine. All right, Grayson, I'm going to cut this hole a little bit bigger.
I want to cut this hole
so that this package pours a little faster for you.
I need to make it bigger.
How's it going with the butter, Ruby?
Good, my 3rd one.
Now, Grayson, I'm going to give you a safety tip, okay? And I love how independent you are with your scissors, but when you're cutting with scissors, you always want to cut away from your body. Grayson was cutting towards his hand, and if his hand slipped We could have had an accident, and we don't want to be anywhere near the hospital right now, right, guys?
Yeah.
All right, Grayson, here's package number 2.
Package number 2.
Awesome. Okay, Miss Ruby, have we got our 4 tablespoons in there yet?
Now.
Awesome.
Ruby made a mess.
Ruby made a mess. That's okay. All right, Grayson, our recipe calls for 1/3 cup of milk, but we're doubling the recipe. So how much milk do we need?
We need, what was the first thing you said?
We need a 1/3 cup of milk.
So we need a half cup.
Close.
3/4 cup of milk.
Close. Right between the half and the 3/4.
A half and a half a quarter.
We need 2/3 of a cup of milk. So if
Okay.
you fill this 1/3 cup up twice, you've got how many thirds? 2/3.
2.
Okay, so when you're making a recipe like this, it's okay to do what Mommy calls guesstimating, right?
Yeah.
So I often will take our prep bowls and I'll just pour milk to kind of right in between the half cup and the 3/4 cup measurement. Listen, when you're baking though, guys, is it okay to guesstimate? No, because if you guesstimate with things like baking powder and milk and eggs,
You might make a volcano explosion.
you could make a volcano explosion, or maybe your cake will rise to the point that it explodes over the side. So there's a reason.
And it makes your stove dirty.
It sure does. Does Mommy like cleaning the stove?
No.
No, absolutely
That's why you don't put
Let's
metal
do the
in
butter.
the microwave.
Yep, Ruby's gonna stir our butter. Grayson, are you going to guesstimate or are you gonna use this guy?
This guy.
This guy? Okay, so you're gonna hold it over the bowl and you're gonna pour
It smells buttery.
2/3.
1/3.
And it's okay if we add a little extra milk. It's not gonna hurt anybody. Awesome. All right, so just put that here in the bowl for me, bud.
Now we stir.
Now you're gonna whisk it.
That's the same thing.
Awesome. All right, Ruby,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you to find out. This is a really great way to kind of test how many tablespoons of water make a 1/4 cup. So you're gonna fill this and see
Make a
how
1/4.
many tablespoons make a 1/4 cup. So this is a really great way to play around with ingredients and see how equivalents work out. So let's say you're cooking with kids and, oh, it's okay. Let's say you're cooking with kids and the half cup measure is dirty in the dishwasher. You can get them experimenting with your tablespoons and teaspoons.
About 3.
About 3. So
Wait,
Ruby
dump it?
says, nope, we're not going to dump
No,
it in. We're
okay.
just doing equivalent. So
It's a
she's
bit
discovered it takes about 3 tablespoons, maybe 2.5. It's a little higher, so maybe 2.5 tablespoons. So yeah, and then we can experiment and see how many teaspoons create a tablespoon. So
Can I
you've
use the
got
knife
your...
I need the knife to get this out.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many teaspoons?
So what you're going to do, you're going to use the other side to this buttery one.
And then
You want to fill
oh,
the tablespoon. So we'll just lay that flat and find out how many teaspoons make a tablespoon. And what's really cool, we're not doing this right now because we don't want to get paper all messy in our kitchen, but you can write down your findings, write down your observations. And I don't know about you, I don't remember anything from chemistry class in high school. I apologize to the educators out there, but what I do remember is cooking with my mom and learning fractions and equivalents and all of those tips.
so then look, it's 3.
3 teaspoons made a tablespoon? All right, so there you go. That's a really great way to teach kids equivalents. All right, Grayson,
I think it's
Ruby
perfect.
and Grayson, I'm going to get you to switch spots here for a second.
Bottom.
Grayson, what I'm going to get you to do, look how awesome my island looks right now. Grayson, what I'm going to get you to do is pour your mixture in with our hot noodles.
Is the pot hot?
The The pot is hot. That is a very good question. Do we want to touch the sides of the pot? No, then we can be like those fast moving molecules, right? All right, now you've poured it in, but look at that. Do we want all of that to stay in the pot?
No, we want to
in the bowl. So you can use our sauté spoon to scrape it all out. So I'll hold the bowl. You can scrape. You might hear the neighbor kids screaming. It's a beautiful day here in Ontario. It's a great day to play outside. One more scrape, buddy. Okay, so stir it all up.
With this?
With this. And Ruby, what kind of a mixture do we have?
Homogeneous.
Homogeneous? Yes, this was a homogeneous mixture, right? Because you can't pluck the milk and the seasoning apart from each other.
The same. But you can make that one.
So when you're stirring, guys, I'm going to show you a tip. Okay, Grayson? Can I just... You want to take your sauté spoon all the way to the side and go all the way to the bottom, just like we gardened yesterday. And then you want to kind of fold it over, and you want to do that on all sides.
I want to do it.
We don't want any noodles to be jealous and not covered by sauce. Right, guys?
So then it will be really sassy.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do for all of you is later this afternoon, I'm going to do a post with some websites with some just simple ideas for cooking with kids, with some recipes and some YouTube videos to support you as we all live in this new normal. I don't know about you, I'm a work from home mom who now homeschools and manages my household. So I'm wearing, seems to be more hats, but it's all good. Involve your kids in the kitchen. It's okay if they make a mess. You know what?
We're kids.
Your kids, but cleanup is a good life lesson.
But that's not for kids.
That's for everybody. So we are gonna go have our lunch. I hope you learned something today, and post your comments below if you've got any cool cooking with kids ideas, or if you're educators and you're watching this and you've got some cool ideas that you've used in your classroom, please share it. You know what? We need our village right now, even if our village is showing up virtually. I'm just so grateful to all the educators who've been supporting me, and I hope that I can support you with meal solutions. So, contact the consultant that invited you to this group if you're interested in the mac and cheese or any of our other meal solutions. That's what we're here for. We're here to serve you. So have an awesome day, everybody, and it's lunchtime in the Brown household. Bye.
Bye. Good.